10 tips. No, I'm not. I'm kidding. It's not 10. Welcome back to another episode of FormCast. Episode 10 we are on, actually, funny enough. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the topics we've been talking about lately, recently, all that kind of stuff. Today, I wanted to talk about something that has come my way, not only in the past, but more recently as well, is messages like this. Hey, Form, how do I get started in streaming? What are some tips you would give to someone who's thinking about streaming? I just started. What are a few tips that you might have to share? Well, there's a whole Bible worthy, a whole New Testament, a whole new giant book. I was going to say encyclopedia. I didn't want to take the risk by saying it and mumbling it and screwing it up because I would get flack for that, of course. There are a lot of tips, a lot of tricks, a lot of things when it comes to what to do to grow and how to stream and what to do this and where to go and all of it, right? But as of a brand new perspective, let's take it, I'm thinking of streaming, or I literally just started like one stream in. What are some tips? Well, I'm going to give you a few things. Recently, I've shared these live on stream. I've shared these in messages and all that kind of stuff with those who have been asking. One of the biggest things is, and I've been doing this since June 2020, and one of the biggest things that I've kind of realized is you literally just have to have fun. You can push your content out, you can do this, you can do that, you can play games, you could play music, you could do arts, you could just literally speak, you could chat. But if you're not having fun, it doesn't matter. So the biggest thing of all is literally just have fun. I've had some of the most successful streams, some of the most, I'd say, mentally rewarding streams as well. Not necessarily financial all the time, but mentally rewarding streams when I'm literally just having fun doing what I'm doing. And that takes a lot of time to realize what you want to do. But when you can sit there and say, I'm proud of what I'm doing exactly what I want to do. And honestly, that mentality, that mindset really brings in the viewers and brings in people and causes people to share the word about your stream, et cetera, and it's a chain reaction. So literally just have fun. But there are a few specific things that I think people need to focus off right on the bat. Focus on right off the bat. I need a burrito. Main thing is your setup is going to differ from Joe's setup, from Larry's, from Curly and Mo's, right? You could be like me. You could be starting on an Xbox in your living room with a really kind of like, I had a $30 headset when I started, or you can be like me now where you have a good microphone, I have 2 computers, you can have a really good PC, you can have 17 monitors so if you want. I only have 3, so don't, just got my 3rd one recently, moving up in the world of content creation. You could have a really bad camera, you could have a really good camera, you can have no lighting, you could have good lighting. So there's a lot of things that I think play into what your stream looks like. However, with whatever you've got, you want to make sure that you are getting the best quality audio and the best quality video. Quality of your stream doesn't necessarily mean like what you look like or anything like that. I mean, yeah, clean your bedroom if you're streaming from your bedroom, please. Make your bed, I don't know, clean up the laundry. Hey, some people like that stuff, I guess. But end of the day, video quality and audio quality with whatever setup you have, please try and make sure that it is the best quality that you can have at the time. If you can invest later down the road, do so. If you want to take this to the next level, or if it's just a hobby that you want to put out the best quality stuff, even if it's just a hobby once a week, 2 times a week, whatever it is, then yeah, go ahead and invest and purchase yourself a good microphone or a computer or a laptop that can you can stream from and use an external USB microphone, for example. I started with a 720p camera. So what can you do to help yourself? Well, make sure your microphone is not as less muffled as you can. If you're using like a headset microphone, make sure it's not in your mouth. Make sure it doesn't necessarily pick up your breathing all the time if possible. You can buy little mic covers, the foam covers that might act like pop filters for your microphone. Your camera, if it's a 720p camera or if it's an old webcam or something like that, get really good lighting. Even if you have a good camera, get really good lighting if you can. I used a desk lamp at the best. That's all I had at the time. So put that on in front of you, point it to your face, get used to streaming with a light in front of you, put glasses on if you need to. No one's going to judge you, but if you can just have really good video and audio quality, I think it'll take you a lot further than if you just hit the go live button and hope that your quality is good enough. That being said, another little thing would be rewatch your streams. Rewatch them, go through the whole thing. If you don't have time to go through the whole thing, just skim through it. Make sure that there's no moments where your quality is really bad. Make sure you are kind of studying your own self. Are you talking loud enough? Are you loud enough? Is the game too loud? Is it, is the music that you're playing or whatever sounds that are happening overpowering your own voice? Stuff like that. So you just kind of want to study yourself a little bit. So have fun, have good audio and video quality with whatever setup you have. If you have any questions, by the way, with like, what can I do with my setup and how do I change this? How do I change that? Put a comment down in the YouTube video in the comments, and I'll see if we can get you some help if I can't help you myself with some suggestions. Now, there's a few other things. I mean, there's a lot of like in-depth things that you can do when it comes to streaming, but if you're just starting out or you're just thinking about it, one of the coolest things that you can do is literally just hang out with people. I never watched Twitch until I started streaming. So a month or so before I looked into streaming, or started streaming, I should say, I was looking into it. So I went on Twitch, and which, I think still remains to be the most popular platform to stream on. There is YouTube, and there's other places right now, and it's, the battle continues, but I think Twitch is still the most popular. They did have 11 million new streamers in 2022, so it's quite booming, I guess you can say. Besides the fact, I didn't know anything about Twitch, so I was never involved in the community on Twitch, in anyone's community. I was never in anybody's streams or anything like that. So really getting involved in the platform on Twitch and just going into streams and chatting, going into Discords and finding a Discord community, 1 or 2 or 3 maybe, that you really sort of feel like you fit in, that you feel comfortable enough to have conversations, that is active enough for you to actually make connections with people and bring those conversations into some private DMs perhaps, and say like, hey, let's play games. Let's go. If maybe you live close to each other and you meet some friends and you actually get to hang out in real life or something like that. So when you get involved, not only does it get your name out there so people see you all over the place, as many places as you can, and this is the same thing with social media, things like Twitter and TikTok and stuff. The more people see you, the more they kind of want to look into who you are and what you're about. But simply right off the bat, just get into some streams and just go chatting. If it's a game that you like and the streamer is interactive and you can feel like you're safe enough to say hey for the first time, then perfect. But that's a big thing is just literally taking your time and hanging out. A lot of people that I know now, to be honest, the majority of people that I know now that I call friends are people that I met on Twitch. I involved myself in Discord communities very, very early on, very active in Discord communities. Now, Discord is something that it doesn't necessarily mean that your stream is going to grow or anything like that, but you will definitely meet people. And I think it goes without saying that when I have a community member who doesn't stream and they've been active in Discord, they've been active in streams, and they decide to stream like 3-4 months later, something like that, they already have like 10 people or 10 to 15 people in their stream because of the connections they've made. Now, they're not making those connections for the sole purpose of bringing them to a stream, but months and months later, they're like, you know what, maybe I want to try this myself. And all of a sudden, they actually have 10 to 15 people right off the bat. They're not streaming to 1, 2, 3 people. They're literally just the people that they've made friends with already are like, oh my God, you're streaming now? I'm going to go hang out with you whenever I can. So it's just a few things, and it can be very complicated, but can be very simple if you just keep it simple, right? They always say, what's the saying? Keep it simple, stupid. So don't overcomplicate things. Don't get too involved in the numbers, especially when you're starting out, because when you have certain goals, let's say you have a viewer goal, sub goal, this goal, that goal. When you hit those goals, you have to create more goals. So you're never truly finished. You're never truly content with like, I'm okay with hitting that goal. It's like you always kind of want to set yourself more goals in the future to get further in the industry, further in your hobby, further in this, further in that. So never really concentrate too much on the view count. When you hit affiliate, never really concentrate too much on like how much money you're making or this and that. Just literally have fun, make sure your quality is good, get to know people, use the platform like it's supposed to be used. Just go watch streams and chat as much as you feel like doing. Not everybody has all the time in the world to do that either. So if you have free time, why not? And it's something that short term, you're going to see something out of it. Long term, you're going to see a lot out of that because you're also building those habits, those good habits of just making friends, making sure your stream is what you want to do, Make sure what you're doing is happy. The quality is as good as it can be with whatever you have. And then eventually you start seeing the results of that. And then you can invest in your stream to make it better. And then you can grow from here, grow from there. And then all of a sudden you're getting emails from this person and that person, different companies. And they're like, oh my God, we've seen, your path so far, whatever it may be. So you don't know what the results might be, the outcome. But if you put those little tips to work, I think it'll be really, really good for you. When you start out though, it's one of the biggest things, this is why I mentioned it first, is just have fun. If you're not having fun what you're doing, then you're not going to really care about putting your all into it. You're going to feel like you're wasting your time. You're going to feel like you've put in so much work, but the results aren't there. So you're going to end up quitting like many people do. Don't look at the first month or first 2 months and be like, oh my God, this is what the rest of my stream hobby or stream career is going to look like. It changes drastically as you move forward. So keep going, stay consistent, make yourself a little bit of a schedule if possible that works with your life, your work, your family, your friends, your social outings, your life that you already have, and make sure it's like, if you had a little project in the garage, right? When are you going to work on that? Well, I'll work on it this night because, everything is free. So maybe that's your stream, right? So you schedule your stream 2 nights a week, 3 nights a week, something like that. One last thing that I want to mention though is when people start off streaming, and this is just a thing that I suggest because I think a lot of people, when they start streaming, the idea, especially on Twitch, to hit Twitch affiliate and become monetized is quite a good feeling. It's quite a good thought. It's like, well, if I can make a few dollars doing this while having fun, why not, right? So getting to that point, you just want to make sure that you're not streaming, hey, honestly, this is my opinion, but you can stream all day long if you want, 10, 12 hours, 20 hours, 24 hours, whatever. But it will affect the ability to hit certain requirements to be monetized on the platform, especially if you don't already have a few people, a few friends that are supporting you. So if you're streaming to like 1 or 2 people, or even just on that 3, and you're streaming, 25, 30 hours a week, it's going to just really kind of make it a lot longer process to be monetized on the platform. That's the law of average. It's, more hours streaming, harder to raise an average. Less hours streaming, easier to raise your average. So what I usually suggest is maybe 3 streams a week, 3-4 hours max, and just have fun with it. Now, if you see that you can benefit in other ways by streaming longer or by streaming shorter, then just make those changes and make sure that you're doing it properly for your own, your own passion, your own goals, your own aspirations and expectations for yourself, and this new adventure that you might be trying to, hop on and get on the boat and steer the car and fly the plane and whatever other analogy that, that's what's another one, ride the horse. I don't know. But you're on a journey, right? So you want to make sure that you're actually having fun doing it. So that being said, there's a lot more tips, a lot more things you can do. However, when you're just starting out, try these simple things, have fun, make sure your quality is as good as it can be with whatever you've got. Do what you want to do on stream, make some friends, use the platform properly, and you'll have a really good time. Any questions, comments, feedback, please put those in the comments in YouTube, on YouTube, in the platform, on the platform. Do that, and feel free to subscribe to the channel as well. We're nearing 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. It really, really is appreciated. If you're listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, thank you so much for downloading the podcast. Episodes every single week, different topics about absolutely anything and everything, and potentially in the future, some coming guests. We got to pick those out, and we got to have some topics to talk about. So feel free to suggest that on YouTube as well, different topics you want us to talk about in the future. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for listening. Cheers.